found in Quezon City was not a fresh one. In fact, he is the 8th variant case that was already reported as of February 5. To give us more clarifications on this report, we have on the line Dr. Rolly Cruz. He is the head of Quezon City's Epidemiology and Surveillance Unit. Good morning, Dr. Cruz. Could you tell us if this patient was swabbed in Pasay on January 17, then how come it took almost a month to locate him in Quezon City?
Hi, hello, sir. Good morning. This is because the address that he declared in the case investigation for was addressed in Liloan, Cebu, no? So the Department of Health was looking for him in Cebu, actually, no? So there was a difficulty of finding him, and then just recently we found out through the help of other national agency that he is staying in Commonwealth area.
At least now he has been located, but then, Doc, was the patient not supposed to be under quarantine this entire time, or at the very least until his results came out? And is anyone to be held responsible for the fact that he was able to travel around the metro during this time?
Yes, we are actually investigating that. We are asking the local government of Manila to investigate the manning agency that's responsible for her, because the manning agency transferred the patient to Barangay Commonwealth during his quarantine, supposedly quarantine period. No? He's supposed to still be on quarantine at that time. So January 17 was the swab test result. The following day he tested positive, and then supposed to stay there for at least 14 days. No. But unfortunately, the manning agency transferred her here in a studio-type apartment in Barangay Commonwealth. We are asking the help of the local government of Manila to investigate this matter also.
All right, but then where is the patient currently? Has he been transferred here? She been transferred to the Hope facility in Quezon City?
Yes, we were informed yesterday, late afternoon yesterday. So we conduct our initial contact tracing almost at around 6 in the evening, and then we're supposed to transfer them both his companion to our Hope facilities. Unfortunately, it rained last night. So this morning, they are now in the process of being transported to our Hope facilities.
Right, Dr. Cruz, but then what about the spouse and any other people who were living in close contact with this patient? How are contact tracing efforts going so far?
When he arrived here in Metro Manila from Cebu last November 17, actually he was alone. Apparently he was alone. So he stayed in Sucat, Parañaque from November 17 until January 17, until where he is supposed to get swabbed. No? The person is applying for a job placement in Taiwan. No? So the job placement was approved, so that people will be leaving the country needs to get swabbed. No? So that's where the time he tested positive.
Right.
So all that is time, he has one companion in the place where he is living in Sucat, Parañaque. So we are also coordinating with the local government of Parañaque to investigate this matter also.
All right, let's talk about contact tracing a little bit more. I understand that this patient did visit a lot of different places after arriving in Metro Manila from Cebu. It is a little bit more complicated, no?
So we're looking at 14 days prior to the January 17 swab, no? So that's a lot of places, no? in Manila, because that's where the manning agency is located, and also in Sucat, Parañaque. So we're trying to extract all of these things to the people concerned, so that we'll be able to list down all the possible close contact of this person.
All right, Dr. Cruz, so could you tell us how many cases of this new variant has so far been detected in Quezon City, and is there any cause for concern?
So the first one is a real, a Quezon City resident, but this one is not really a Quezon City resident. So we have two cases right now. One is already recovered, and this one is a new one. It's not really from Quezon City. No? It's a visiting a person from Cebu. But nevertheless, we will do an extensive contact tracing and testing within the area to find out if other Quezon City residents were exposed to this person. So that's what we're doing right now.
Right, Dr. Cruz, I'll have one more question before I let you go. Given the current scenario, would you recommend the imposition of stricter movement restrictions in Quezon City?
Oh no. That's not. Remember, this has already been 24 days since the day that he was swabbed. No, so technically, he is already recovered. No, so at this time, but nevertheless, we are looking for other new cases in the specific area in Commonwealth. Particularly the neighbors, no, and the immediate place in Commonwealth, so that the result of that will determine if you're going to place the area into lockdown or special concern area. So I'm looking at Saturday or Monday. We'll know by then if we have additional cases in the area.
All right, thank you for your time and for making all of those things clear. That was Dr. Rolly Cruz, head of Quezon City's Epidemiology and Surveillance Unit. Baguio City is once again opening its doors to 1,000 tourists this long weekend. This as COVID-19 cases in the country's summer capital start dwindling. Jenny Dongon with the details.
With just a 30 peso sale, souvenir store owner Luz is ready to call it a day.
Ngayon, parating zero po kami lang eh. Puro hugot po yung ano namin. Nanggagaling sa bulsa ng boss yung sahod namin. Minsan delay.
June used to earn hundreds from tourist riding and taking photos with his horse, but he's now stuck with 20 pesos daily. The city tourism sector has taken a beating. In 2019, the summer capital had 200,000 guests monthly. That dwindled to 15,000 from January 2020 to date. The city lost about 3 billion pesos in the process, but the city's tourism is about to get a new lease. The government recently allowed tourism activities to resume in the city. More than 1,000 visitors are expected this long weekend. Health protocols will be strictly implemented. Tourists still have to pre-register and submit documents online, including a negative swab test result. They opt for swab tests upon arrival. And with reported British variant cases in neighboring towns, visitors can't cross borders.
Intermunicipality movement is not allowed. We are only allowing that for essential travels, no? But for tourists, not allowed.
The city has seen daily cases decline. From 42 per day last January 10 to 23, it only tallied 17 daily from January 24 to February 7. The health office attributes it to the heightened quarantine status.
Naturally, when the movement of people is less, mobility of people is less din ang pag-transmit natin ng disease. The second one would be, siguro, yun nga, pinaigtingan din natin ang ating testing. We also intensified our contact tracing.
Baguio is gearing up for inoculation. 190,000 residents are slated for vaccination, a third of which will come from the Cordillera Administrative Region. Vaccine hubs have already been identified, including 16 health centers and 5 hospitals. There will also be a vaccine mega site in the city. Healthcare workers will be the priority recipients for the first batch of shots. For News 5, Jenny Dongon, BR1 News.
Health experts are keeping their eyes on a new vaccine candidate from China. This is CanSino's experimental single-dose vaccine, which shows an efficacy rate of over 65%. Let's get more details on this with Rachel Chang from Bloomberg News.
Right, this is China's third vaccine to release efficacy data. So what we know is that it's 65.7 effective at preventing all symptomatic disease and 90.98% effective at preventing severe disease. So this definitely clears the bar, which is 50% effective. And more importantly, it's a single shot, which we know basically cuts the work in half. You know, one shot is enough. People go out, they're getting a high level of protection after one shot. The WHO has said that a 70% effective single-shot vaccine is as valuable as a two-dose regimen with 90% efficacy. You know, and we are seeing a lot of that logistical issues surrounding two shots now. When are people getting the second shot? Is there enough for the second shot? So a single-shot vaccine can be really important in this pandemic fight.
And yet China seems to be pushing back their 50 million vaccine target.
That's right. So the vaccination drive in China right now is what they're using is their two previous vaccines, which are both double shot. You know, what we do see in China, we've reported this already, is that there is widespread hesitation over taking vaccines. I mean, a big issue is you have to realize in China, life has been pretty normal for people for months now. They do not feel that COVID threat the way that people in Western countries are feeling. They don't feel any sense of fear or crisis. And so there's hesitation. And also there's been a lot of publicity over negative side effects of the Western vaccines. The state-run media sort of shot themselves in the foot by talking a lot about negative side effects of the Western vaccines. That made people in China worry about all side effects. So we're seeing that hesitation.
China may be recovering fast thanks to its success in controlling the pandemic, but it may be years before its famed Lunar New Year celebrations return to pre-COVID levels. Bloomberg reports how the pandemic will change the Chinese New Year revelries this year and the years to come. Let's watch this.
Investors expecting bulls in 2021 may find something more pedestrian instead. The year of the ox, a diligent, hard-working and cautious beast. Fresh iterations of the zodiac animal emboss gifts and luxury gear for the Lunar New Year celebration. But the party's likely to be muted. New COVID outbreaks, lockdowns and quarantines will see more Chinese stay put in cities, barred from travelling home for the holiday where family reunion is customary. The trend is evident in mainland aviation recovery, stalling in December. Only 240 million passengers flew on China's big three airlines in 2020, down 40% from the 400 million a year earlier. And the year-on-year drop in Lunar New Year travellers may be even greater than during October's Golden Week holiday, according to Bloomberg Intelligence, when highway travel fell by 20 million passengers per day. The silver lining could be with retail sales, where the consensus forecast sees a 29% bump in the first quarter. But authorities urging citizens to limit gatherings and shop online may ultimately weigh on their desire to spend, with some local governments even offering extra wages to workers who don't return to their hometowns for the holiday. It could pay to stay home and wait for vaccine efforts to bear fruit.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 1 p.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Just register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. We are One News.